And we are back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to bring you 3 hybrid attacks. I'm going to go over the basic principles of hybrid, my understanding of what you're supposed to look for in a base. I'll show you each base. We'll try to attribute my rules, put them onto the bases, and show you how I executed the plan. So sit tight, buckle up, stay tuned, and enjoy the show. Okay, before we actually get into the first attack, let's talk about hybrid a little bit. What is hybrid? I like to say that hybrid is a nice, juicy sandwich. What are you talking about, Avi? Well, let me explain. Hybrid is broken down into basically 3 parts in my mind. You have basically one part of the hybrid hybrid is a queen walk. Another part of the hybrid is the siege barracks. Those 2 are the pieces of bread, and sandwiched in the middle, right in the middle of those 2 pieces, is going to be your piggies and your miners. So what else do I have to tell you about hybrid? Well, because you're dealing with a queen walk, you got to know what the queen can deal with, what she can't deal with. The things that the queen can deal with very, very easily is multi-infernos. She can deal with, basically every single defense on the board she can deal with, except for single target infernos. That's where it starts getting a little difficult. Now, what are your miners? What can they deal with? Well, they can really deal with anything, but ideally, the nice thing about hybrid is the things that the queen is deficient on, the single target infernos, hybrid is very, very good for that, because you have all your piggies that are attacking those single target infernos. The single target inferno can only attack 1 piggy at a time. So by the time that 1 piggy's gone, you'll have all the other piggies taken down that single target inferno. So what else we got? We got the other slice of bread, which is the siege barracks. The siege barracks consist of the P.E.K.K.A. with the wizards. Now that is pretty much like a queen. You don't want to keep them anywhere near a single target inferno. So that's the basic ideas. Now let's see if we can put that onto this base. Let's look at this base for a second and try to break this down. Well, I look at this base and I see a single, multi, and a single. So I basically had 2 choices. Based on my rules, I had 2 choices of where I was going to send my queen. I could either send her to the top of this base, this part of the base I'd want my queen to address, or I could send her to the bottom of this base. The middle, the single over here and the single over there, I would ideally like to keep my queen away from. Now, another thing that you want to keep your hybrid away from, or you got to be really concerned with your hybrid, I didn't mention it before, are scatter shots. Why the scatter shots? Well, splash damage in general you want to be careful of, because the nice thing about the hybrid, or the way that the hybrid works, is you have the piggies and you have the miners working in sync with each other. So they're all grouped up together, working together. The piggies are taking out the defenses, the miners are taking out the other structures, maybe helping with the defenses. So if you got splash damage, the splash damage could destroy that whole group of piggies and miners all together. So if your hybrid is dealing with scatters, you got to hold onto a freeze spell. If your queen is dealing with the scatters, she can deal with the scatters. You just want to make sure she's under a rage, and maybe keep an eye on her, and you'll have to throw a freeze down on the scatters as well. So having said that, it should be pretty easy to say that I want my queen to come in and take care of this top section. The other thing that we didn't discuss, the 2 things that you really have to take out when you're going for a hybrid attack, is you want to take out the eagle, you want to take care of the CC. If you don't take care of those 2 things, again, the eagle can destroy a whole group of hybrid, just like one shot, boom, done, they're gone. CC, if you have, again, the hybrid is basically, it's a ground troop. They cannot shoot anything in the air. So if you got an air CC, a defensive air CC coming at your hybrid, you're going to be in big trouble. So that's why you really ideally would like to take care of the CC and the eagle, both with your queen. So now let's look at this base. So I'm looking at this base here, and I see the eagles up top, and I see the scatters are pretty close to each other. So I knew that I wanted to come in from the top of this base. So how am I going to get into the top of this base, and where do I want to enter in the top of this base? You realize that basically there's a whole bunch of compartments on the top. I know I wanted to stay away from this compartment, with my queen. So which means that ideally the best place for me to get in with my queen would be through this compartment. If I get my queen, and why? Because if I get my queen into this compartment, then I'm able to take out the scatter, I'm able to take out this warden, I'm able to take out this eagle over here, and I knew that one way or another I'd be able to finagle my queen somehow to help out the miners, either with coming in this way or going that way and dealing with the scatter. No matter what it's doing, it's either going to be tanking all these expos over here to help my miners out, or it's going to be taking down the scatter shot, the second scatter shot, which will definitely help me on the back end. So let's play it out and watch it in action. So the first thing is I start my queen over here, and I want to get rid of this wizard tower to get her moving that way. So I'm going to use a baby dragon up over here on this wizard tower. My queen is going to be over here, and I'm going to use a yeti over here. This is where the yeti is going to go. Now, when you're making a funnel, I've put out a video on queen walking, and it's very important to know where to make your first funnel, where to make your secondary funnel. You don't want to make them too close to the queen, because if you make them too close to the queen, then what's going to happen is she's not going to be able to it won't be a funnel for her. She'll just go to the next defense. So if you notice, when I wanted the queen to go in there, so being that I wanted the queen to go in there, I dropped my yeti down over here, and then I dropped the wizard down over here, and just by doing that, the queen's got nowhere else to go except for inside. So now I got the queen inside, and now you want her to try and make a little bit of pathing for the hybrid. The queen's going to go in. She's going to deal with the structures over there. She takes down that eagle. That is the best. Now, I tried to get a secondary wall break directly over here, but of course, the wall breakers had other ideas, and they didn't go over there. So you'll see my wall breaker. There's the wall breaker. It opened up that compartment. That was not the compartment that I wanted, but I knew that once I take care of the CC, and even if my queen decides to go in this way, she's going to deal with the queen. She's going to take out the queen. Now, look over here. I got my king and my Pekka down. Again, let's pause this here for oopsie. Let's pause that here for a second and just explain why I dropped the siege barracks and the queen over there. Well, we already talked about, let's zoom in a little bit so you can see that. You can see the hybrid action. We already talked that you want to keep your king, you want to keep that Pekka away from that single target inferno. So the only troops that I want going anywhere near that single target inferno is my hybrid. That's what I want to take care of the hybrid. Now I got the queen over here, and my queen is going to come around, and my queen is going to help out with the queen kill. And like I said, she is going to tank these expos also. But now once I get my hybrid in, once my hybrid's going to go down like this and go through like that, once my hybrid goes in, my third wall breaker is going to be a very easy wall breaker through here to get this queen going through. So now let's play it up again and watch it in action. Queen is right now, she's dealing with all the all the pops. I got the hybrid going in. There goes the royal champ in with the hybrid. I think I dropped in, there's a headhunter in there somewhere to help with the queen kill. Now the queen is coming around. There she goes, she's coming around, and now once that corner is cleared out, the wall breaker's got nowhere to go except for down into this base. So now, I told you before that multis are very, very dangerous for hybrid. So you want to make sure, look at the heal that I have going on over here. Wherever these miners are going to be going up against the rough defenses, they're going to be in the heal. They're going after the town hall now, so I use the warden ability to get them through the town hall. The queen is going through, and like I said, the queen is tanking that scatter shot on the back end. I drop a freeze on the scatter shot. The royal champ decides, I thought the royal champ was going in towards my queen, but she ended up going towards the hybrid. That's pretty much it. This base is boom, done, finished. Let's quadruple speed it through to get that final triple, so the base will be eligible for for burntbase.com. There's the triple, there's the army comp, and now let's go in and watch another. Okay, so here we got this base over here. Now, on this base over here, I used to do it a totally different way, but a guy in the stream, his name is Detonate from Affiliate Esports, he told me the best way to go after these four corner bases. And this base, I was going to do that, but it gave me a little difficulties using his formula. What is his formula? His formula on these bases is just to suey your royal champion on the single that's closest to the eagle, and then get your queen to come around and go directly towards the eagle. So you get your royal champion there. Now, why couldn't I do his plan on this base? Well, you know, if you look at what's going on in that corner over there, my royal champ wouldn't go for that single target. So it caused me that I had to deal with, like, you know, this one, and then I think a Tesla popped out. So I used my baby. I'm throwing everything at it, which brings me up to another point. I'll talk about it once. A very important thing we got to go over and talk about. Let's play it up meanwhile and get this thing going. So what did I do over here? I tried to do his little trick over here, and you'll see what happened. I threw in my baby on this, what he called, with some loons, and then a Tesla popped, and then I had to throw in some piggies. But that brings me up to a point. Okay, so well, let's just get this going on over here, and then I'll continue talking. Look at all this stuff that kept on coming out. I just couldn't do the plan that I wanted to do. There are the piggies that I'm throwing in. I think, okay, then I threw in my Yeti. So now that we've seen basically all of my funneling troops, let's talk about, there's the and a Valk for good measure. Let's talk about a little bit about the troops that you carry. When you're carrying all of these troops, you have to know, you know, what are your main army troops, what are your funneling troops, what are your assisting troops. Each troop basically has a function in your army. You just saw in the beginning of this raid, you saw my Yeti go down. You saw some loons go down. You saw my baby dragon go down. You saw Val go down. Those troops are all of my funneling troops. So now, as you can see over here, if you notice, we talked about a sandwich before. There's the queen, there is the king in the siege barracks, and there is the pathway that I'm making for my miners. Again, it's a sandwich. This is one piece of bread, this is another piece of bread, and over here is your meat and potato sandwich. So that's how you should be doing your hybrid. What was I saying? So in a hybrid, the funneling troops that I'm taking, we talked about the funneling troops. I got a Yeti, I got a Valk, I got baby dragons, I got loons, I got a minion to assist in with pups. The Valk I use to assist me with skellies. Every single troop that you carry should have a purpose. Now, some people think, well, I got to take more pigs and I got to take more hogs and more miners. Obviously, it's not going to be enough. No. One extra hog, one extra miner, one extra loon and a lalo is not going to make or break your attack. But I will tell you that if you don't have the proper funneling troops and you don't get that queen in where you want her to get in, it doesn't matter how many loons and how many piggies and how many miners you're carrying. If you don't get that queen to go in to set up the rest of the funnel that you're looking for, your whole raid is going to go to garbage. So make sure that you're taking better to take extra funneling troops than take extra main army troops. Now let's go in to the next one. Okay, so here we are on the last base, and I'm very, very happy to show this attack. And it's not because the attack was so OP. I think I finished this attack with a Yeti and a Ward, and that was all that was left on the base. So, Avi, why are you so happy to show this attack? Well, I'm happy to show this attack because there's a basic fundamental that I used in this attack, which is very, very important with hybrid. What is that? I like to call it forcing the queen to go where you want her to go. That's what I like to call it. Now, let me first show you, before I show you how I forced the queen to go where I wanted her to go, let me show you what I intended for her to do. The intention for this queen was to get a wall break over here, and get this queen charging directly into the base. Now, why did I want my queen into this compartment over here? What's the reason why I wanted to get my queen in here? Well, to understand that, let's zoom in on that compartment just a little bit. Well, first of all, we said in the beginning, one of the rules of hybrid is that you really, really need to take care of the CC. And let's tap on that CC and see where the radius is. The radius, if I get my queen in there, I know that I'm pulling the CC. Now, if I'm pulling the CC so late within the raid that I need to make sure that my hybrid is nowhere near that CC radius. Otherwise, the hybrid could pull the CC, and then if there's super minions or dragons or something that's in the air that my hybrid can't get to, that's it. End of raid. So that's where I wanted my queen to get in there. So it's not really difficult to get the queen in there. You're talking about 2 wall breaks. 1, 2. And another thing, I started carrying a 3rd super wall breaker. I got rid of my regular wall breakers. Carry 3 super wall breakers now. Another little tip and trick for, not specifically for the hybrid attack, but for any attack you're going to use. If you got troops that are extra troops, don't just spam them in the beginning. Better to spam them. Hold them until the end, because you never know where you're going to need those. And you'll see at the end of this raid, that little wall breaker ended up being the reason why this was a 3-star and not a 1-star 99. So let's now talk about what I did right and what I did wrong. Another thing that we have to talk about. It's important in a hybrid, but it's very important in any queen walk that you're going to do. Know where you're going to put your healers. Do your healers belong behind the queen? Do your healers belong to the right of the queen, to the left of the queen? You got to understand the ranges of the defenses and where you're going to put them. Where you're going to put your healers. Why am I mentioning that now? Well, if you look at this base, I started my queen over here, and I basically had one fear. There was only one fear in this base, and that fear was that the queen would walk down here. Spoiler alert, that's what she did. Now, if the queen was walking that way, which is what she did, and my healers were facing over here, then what's going to happen as my queen moves up to hug this wall and goes this way? I'll show you what's going to happen. Look at the range of those ADs. It would be bye-bye healers, which ends up meaning bye-bye raid. Well, bye-bye queen, which means bye-bye raid. So because of that, I wanted to put my queen over here with my healers facing this way. This way, in the worst case scenario, after my queen moves up over here, even if she would go this way, my healers are going to be safe the whole way. So now that we discussed that and we discussed what the plan was, there's only one thing left to do, and that's talking about my little thing, forcing the queen where you want her to go. Let's show you how we do that. So let's hit that play button and watch this attack. Again, we're going to start the queen over here. While this is going on, I'll go over my plan. Queen, a wall break in there, wall break in this wall over here. King and siege barracks would be over here. I should have used, I think I used my Yeti for my funnel, for my secondary funnel, and I shouldn't have used my Yeti. I should have used my king. Let me see. I don't remember what I used on this. There's the wall break, and again, if you see, I want my I used the Yeti. Again, I carry a lot of troops for making a funnel, okay? And you really got to know what troops, when to use which troop. Why was a Yeti not good enough? Well, it might have been good enough if I would have dropped the Yeti down a little earlier. Now, you can see over here what's going on. Well, first of all, let's stop this for a second. What's going on over here? First of all, I got a question. Avi, you told me that single targets are not a big deal for the hybrid. What are you doing putting a healed spell down? Well, I also told you that splash damage is very dangerous to a hybrid. So you make sure that you put down the heal and you get that heal down by wizard towers, by scatter shots, all of the splash damage you want to protect your hybrid. So now, again, what am I trying to do? I want my queen. This whole plan hinges on my queen getting up in here. And my queen is sitting over there, and that's no bueno. So what I did was, instead of establishing some sort of funnel first with my hybrid, you don't always have to just let your king and let your siege barracks do their thing. Again, sometimes in this instance, I should have released my king over here and had him clear out all this area. My queen would have gone directly in. My hybrid could have gone down over here, which is pretty much where it went down. I put the hybrid on the side. Just want to keep the hybrid away from the single target. You don't want to lose your P.E.K.K.A. right away if you don't have to. So in this situation, what am I talking about here of making the queen do what I want her to do? Well, I want the queen to go that way, and the queen's going that way. So I bring in the hybrid very, very quickly, because if you notice, the hybrid's going to go through the base like this, and then the queen's going to have nowhere to go except back inside where I want her to go to begin with. The problem is that she didn't get there quick enough. So, well, we'll watch it. Let's watch it and see what happens. So now we got the hybrid moving through. The queen decides to go back. Thankfully, the queen decides to go back. My king is on the outside with the P.E.K.K.A., and they're doing a fabulous job tanking. They've now made enough of a funnel to get all these troops going back inside this base, going through like this. So now I have my hybrid going through the base like this. Again, I wanted to tank that scatter shot up there. I do have that hole that I wanted, but if you notice, my hybrid's already over here. My queen is back over here. So the timing was not proper. So what do I have left? All I got left is some rage spells. I got a rage spells. I got the warden ability. My queen goes in there. Thankfully, the queen got the lure of the CC first. So now once the queen is going in, but then the Yeti stole my healers. That freaking Yeti stole my healers, but the queen did enough stuff to help out this hybrid. Now, if you look, this right here is what I'm talking about. I got an extra wall breaker over there. I'm holding it, and then I'm going to open up this wall breaker to give access to the king to be able to get in there and take down the town. So again, this was not a very OP attack, but there were some basic principles in here that I really want to show you guys and really want you guys to understand so you could be getting those triples. Again, this game, and just like every other game, the more success you have at the game, the more you're going to enjoy it. So my job is to help you to have success so you can enjoy this game as much as I do, even if you don't have all that success. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let's quadruple speed it through so we can see that army comp, see that triple, and the base will be eligible for burntbase.com. There it is. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, then make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment down below, turn notifications on, and that's going to be it until the next video. Have a super great day.